Yo, 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 what is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix. This is going to be your astrology forecast for Friday, January 19th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful week so far. We're here at what I believe to be one of the most powerful weekends you'll ever experience. This 3-day stretch, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, I'm going to actually dedicate a video to Saturday and Sunday itself. Instead of just putting it all in this one, I am going to dedicate one video to the weekend. So, and honestly, now that I've kind of adjusted the way that I'm putting out the videos, where it's dropping the night before, I may go back to just doing a weekend video, but we'll see. So, but for this week, I'm definitely going to be doing that because, like I said, there's a good bit to talk about, and I don't want to make like an hour-long video. I'm doing my best to kind of be a little bit more efficient in the way that I make the videos, but I know I can end up rambling on stuff like that. And I guess some of you guys like my rambles. But anyways, we are here this Friday, January 19th. And like I said, we are heading into a very powerful 3-day stretch. Mercury is going to trine Jupiter today. Well, I mean, trined it yesterday, but it's still going to continue its trine to Jupiter today. We have Venus is going to be square Neptune. And then, of course, we have that sun that is beginning its conjunction with Pluto. And it's the last full day of Capricorn season. Because tomorrow we are going to have the sun entering into Aquarius, while Pluto's entering into Aquarius, and the moon entering into Gemini. So they're going to be in trine with each other throughout the day. And then Mercury finally exits its shadow at 9 degrees of Capricorn on Sunday. So yeah, very powerful shift. And as you can see, both of these days, the 19th and the 20th, have double stars. There's a reason for that, because they are super mega important days. Let's look at the charts. All right. So I have this set for 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, we do have the moon here at 15 degrees of Taurus, right smack dab in the middle. We do, of course, have Mercury, which is still in trine to Jupiter. So we do start off the day with that nice energy. But we do have Venus, which has now moved to the 25th degree of Sagittarius, making a nice, challenging square over to Neptune in Pisces. Now, I guess you could say there is some mutual reception here. I mean, Venus is exalted in Pisces. Neptune, I wouldn't say it dislikes Sagittarius, I wouldn't say it dislikes it, but this is definitely going to be an interesting, challenging energy. Why? Well, there can be some challenges that come up when it comes to relationships, of course, with Venus, but it also is really going to be about accepting the reality. You know what I'm saying? Like whether or not we can receive, this reality is it's shifting, it's morphing, right? Venus is about how we receive things in life. And being that it's at this degree, 2 + 5 is 7. 7 is the number of spirit and spirituality and Neptune energy, and it's in Sagittarius. And it's a square. So this is going to deal with like political, socio-political issues when it comes to people's beliefs, when it comes to religion, when it comes to spirituality. People are going to be wondering not if they can receive and accept other people for their beliefs. And that's going to be the other weird part about this. We have, like I said, now this is about whether or not we can open up and see that there are many possibilities, right? There are many paths to God. But being that this is a challenge, there are going to be some people that are going to be like, no, it's got to be this way. It's only this way. You can only get to God through this deity. You can only get to God through this religion. Like, that is going to be one of the major things with this. And because of the things that are happening in the world, especially from like a, geopolitical stance, we can see that this is translating through these wars, through these conflicts, right? And it's interesting because since this is the end of the week, typically the weekend is where the news goes to die, but I can't really see the news dying this weekend with such insane, intense energy, right? Now, maybe they wait until Mercury exits shadow. Maybe they wait until Sunday and then going into Monday, but I just can't really see this weekend being a quiet weekend. I don't see how you have a quiet weekend with a sun conjuncting Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, an aspect that we haven't seen since 1778. So unless you're Keanu Reeves or freaking Jeffrey Epstein, who looks like Andrew Jackson, unless you're like a straight up vampire, I'm not saying that Keanu Reeves is a vampire, but unless you're like, a time traveler or something like that, and have the elixir of life, you haven't seen this in your life. And the last time that the sun and Pluto were at 29 degrees of Capricorn, Neptune was in Virgo at 29 degrees, trining the energy. So people probably didn't even think that they could have a whole new reality and a whole day-to-day reality, but it was manifesting. It was a harmonious trine between those two energies. But it's like Pluto was destroying the old structure, but was showing the way to a new structure. But now Neptune is in Pisces, right? So now we have to deal with a lot of the delusions that we have built up. And a lot of those delusions are going to be coming under fire. They're going to be scrutinized. So you have that moon. It's going to conjunct Uranus today at 19 degrees, right? Which means that's going to join up with that awkward quincunx over to the South Node. You got to remember, Uranus and the South Node have been in quincunx for a while. How long exactly? Well, let's take a look. They've been in quincunx for quite a while. Exactly, anyways. Let's see. It entered that degree on the 12th, right? So it's been at least a week or so, and it will continue to be that way for, they're going to be in quincunx or still in quincunx. So yeah, it's going to be until what? The 23rd, right? So the better part of 2 weeks, we're going to have this quincunxing energy, right? So that already in and of itself makes this kind of awkward. And the moon meets up with this energy at this time as well. So there's some weird geopolitical stuff happening here. Uranus, it deals with large groups of people, and then Taurus is ruled by the earth itself. The moon's going to be over this spot. Things are already awkward. Uranus is going to be coming forward in like 8 days from now on the 27th, but it's making an awkward start to the South Node in Libra, which is just, it is not, these are decisions that benefit the self instead of the collective, but they're being passed off as, people looking out for your best interest, but really they're just serving their own, they're only serving their own desires. They're serving their own shit. They are serving their own interest. They don't care as much about other people, but they're going to pass it off as if they do care about other people. And that's the thing that you want to be wary of. Of course, by this time, you can see that the sun hits 29 degrees and begins its conjunction with Pluto, right? And I remember, Pluto is the planet of death, destruction, transformation. It's going to be very deep. This is Scorpio energy. It's the outermost planet. And the sun, of course, is that little dot right there in this outer circle in the glyph. In my opinion, is Pluto. Some people may say it's Mercury, but I believe it's Pluto. I think this is literally a representation of our solar system. And you see this? Pluto represents, in many ways, that hard line, though, the boundaries. Pluto represents your boundaries. So when these are coming into their conjunction here and highlighting the boundary of our society, the boundary of how far we have taken things, literally, they will conjunct at 2959. So you can't get further than this. You can't get further than that. That commences on Friday. Now, of course, you might want to look at where this is happening in your chart, to see how it may be affecting you more directly. But remember, Pluto is more of like a generational planet, right? So, definitely a pretty intense energy, right? Pluto is still opposing, was it the silent generation? It's about to oppose the boomers now. When Pluto goes into Aquarius, it's going to be opposing the boomers and stuff too. And we're coming into that energy, right? So on a day like today, when the sun meets up with Pluto and Venus is starting to square Neptune, people are going to probably start to freak out a little bit. I'm not even going to lie. This is probably not going to be the best weekend to go out and do a whole lot. It might be best to lay low or work, but as far as like going out and doing stuff, it might not be the best weekend for that. Just going to be honest. Friday might not be the best day to go out and do stuff. Just being straight up honest. I mean, at least we have Venus trine Jupiter, right? At least we got that energy. But all the other energy here is pretty challenging, not gonna lie. Now, like score-wise, all the planets actually have good scores. Venus is +8, Jupiter is +6, the moon is +5, Mars is +5, Sun is +4, Mercury is +3, Saturn is +1. So they all have positive scores, and Mars is still just ever so slightly out of bounds. So that's kind of the weird thing about this. This is about finding that diamond in the rough. And while the energy, yes, it's going to be challenging, there's actually a lot of beauty here. There's a lot of grace that can be had here. And I think that's honestly important to remember, is to have grace in yourself in this kind of moment, because you are about to experience something that no one alive has ever experienced. So that's even when it comes to issues with authority and professionalism and people that I guess are at the top of their game per se with this last degree of Capricorn. Even them are going to be going through challenges. So that's why you don't want to get so caught up in your head and be afraid to go for the things that you want to go for and to build that career and build that legacy. Don't be afraid to go for it, because even the most successful people, seemingly, especially from a material standpoint, are going to be going through this transit with you and are going to be challenged. And just because they may have years in the game or $1 million or $1 billion in the bank, not even they are going to have a full picture. Not even they have the just end all be all solution to this. This is going to require a team effort. And we need you, beloved. Right? You can't just do this all with the quarterback. You can't just do this all with your wide receiver and your running back. You can't just do this all with your linebacker. You need your offensive line. You need your defensive line. You need your safeties. You need the freaking water boy. You need the people on the side that handle all the equipment stuff. So when the helmets start to mess up and the chin strap comes undone, you need that person. You need the coaches. It requires a full team effort. A lot of times we like to just focus on the quarterback or the running back or the wide receiver or whatever, the people that get all the yards and the points and shit. This is a full team effort. You need the kicker. Shit. It's not. And so many people, so many of you have been downplaying your role and downplaying your power just because you may look at someone else and you may compare yourself to someone else. The comparison is the thief of joy. It really is, though. We can compare ourselves to other people, and we can project and believe this idea or this ideal or this dream that other person is living our dream life. That's part of the Venus square Neptune, is this projection that we may look at someone and be like, wow, they have it all together. They know what's going on. Oh my gosh, I wonder what it'd be like to be them. You know, maybe if I was like them, that would solve all my problems. When they have their own shit too. We forget about that. All right. So it's like, we're going to have, oh, wait, hold on. I have this still at days. Let me move this back to hours. But yeah, so we're going to see this moon. It's going to hit 20 degrees, right? By the end of the day, it's going to be around 24 degrees. So it's getting ready to sextile to Neptune itself. It does end up opposing Pallas Athena in Scorpio, 24 degrees. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, you can see that with Friday, things really start to kick off and commence. Our beliefs are going to be challenged. We may be comparing ourselves to other people, projecting our ideals onto the world, projecting our ideals and thinking that maybe they have all the answers, but they don't know either. It's going to add a layer of fog to this energy that's square. Yes, Mercury was in trine with Jupiter for a good bit of the day. It does come off the trine come the evening, and it's getting ready to exit its shadow, but it still has it still has a little bit left to go, right? It still has a little bit left to go. But Mercury is picking up speed. It's about to start moving faster than Venus as far as like their speeds go, because Mercury's moving at about a degree in 16 minutes. Venus is moving at, it actually does move, and it actually does end up moving faster at this point. It actually does pass Venus as far as its speed. And I don't know if that literally happens just in the day itself, but if I go back to 6 a.m. and look at the speeds, yeah, so I mean, Mercury is officially moving faster than Venus. It's officially moving faster than Venus. So, but yeah, we're here. We made it. We're at the edge. We have made it to the top of the mountain in many ways, at least the awareness with the sun and the consciousness and what it's bringing light to. But of course, there are other aspects of our being that are still kind of lagging behind. The Mars energy, as far as action, Mercury still in shadow, wanting to have the big picture in our thoughts. Venus, that receptive quality. But of course, we have the moon over there in Taurus. Emotionally, it can be nice to help for some grounding energy. But also, got to remember that the moon, it also shows what we desire in our hearts in many ways. And what's interesting too, of course, is that when the moon hits Uranus, is around the time that the sun is starting to conjunct Pluto. So what do we want? We want unity in many ways. Uranus does deal with the populace, but also deals with the randomness and the uniqueness of people. But a moon that's exalted in Taurus on Uranus here as well, I think we all want in our hearts, we all want us to have some type of core value that unites humanity. Now, we don't all have to just be gray blobs and do the exact same thing, right? And be monotonous. That's not what it's asking for. But I think what we collectively, because the moon also represents in many ways our subconscious, what we subconsciously want is for us as a human race to have some type of collective goal, some type of collective value. That's what we really want. But we have to break past this barrier of 29 degrees of Capricorn. We have to break past the barrier. And we got to remember too, Pluto went into Aquarius last year, but not for very long. Pluto's going to spend most of this year in Aquarius. We only got a taste of what Pluto in Aquarius was going to be. We only got like a taste. We didn't even get the appetizer. We just tasted the appetizer. This year, we actually get the appetizer of Pluto in Aquarius. Next year, when Pluto's completely in Aquarius and won't retrograde back into Capricorn, that's when we get that first course. That's when we get like the first course of the meal, right? That's when we get the meal itself. And we're going to be eating that meal for 20 years, right? So where we are right now, this is like the dessert. This is beyond the dessert with Capricorn. This is us stuffing ourselves to the point of no return. Stuffing ourselves so much to this point where it's like, okay, something has got to give. That's where we are with Pluto Capricorn. Something has got to give because it's not sustainable anymore. We have never seen opulence and abundance on this high of a volume in human history. Yeah, there have been pockets of advanced societies on Earth and stuff, but the sheer volume of what we have achieved right now, we have never seen this before. And I think a lot of us are afraid to let that go because we don't know what's on the other side of it. I believe what's on the other side of it actually can be very beautiful and even better than we ever imagined. But we have to get past the fear and get out of our own way and get out of our own control issues and wanting to control the narrative and just allow this natural evolution to take place instead of just trying to control and control and control and dictate and control. That is being transformed forever. Let's get into the cards. I've been getting a lot of Pentacles lately. Princess of Pentacles. I got the Queen of Pentacles again. So yeah, like I said, this is about whether or not we can actually receive our value and know our value. It's really what it comes down to. You know, it's a positive energy, but she's logical. She knows her worth. It's a very Venusian kind of card. You know what I'm saying? She knows her worth. She knows her beauty. She doesn't necessarily have to flaunt it either. I think that's the thing about this. So I wouldn't really pay attention to too many people that are like just like flaunting their wealth, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So not that you can't be proud. I guess that's the thing. You know, if you're proud of your wealth or everything like that, that's one thing. But like if you're taking it to this whole level, you got to remember this is at the end of Capricorn, right? And Pluto is involved. This is the executioner, right? So Pluto doesn't give a fuck how much money you got in the bank, right? It doesn't care how many cars you got. You know what I mean? That being the true measure of success, it's revelatory of some things. It's revelatory of maybe how hard of a worker someone may be, but there's still more to learn here. Pluto still has to go through Aquarius and Pisces. So there's a lot more to uncover here. We have that followed by the Ace of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I really do feel like, this is one of those moments where, our cup could be overflowing. Man, I think this is simply us not realizing that our cup overfloweth. So we have to alter our perception and really see that, we have everything that we need. We are in the position that we need to be in right now, and that we can't look back on the past and have all these regrets, because this is a time where like regretting and thinking like, oh, if I just did that one thing, I'd be further along. Those kind of thoughts, whatever and stuff, it's not going to lead you down the path of success. It's not going to lead you down that area. And with this Mercury that's here in Capricorn too, there's a lot more focus on that career and legacy and what we do and purpose and stuff like that. There's a lot more focus here. And, I think you're going to see I'm hearing that there's going to be some mental health stuff that probably comes up with this weekend, where people may start to like, may I don't know if snap is the right word. I hope that people don't snap. That's why I caution against like going out and doing a whole bunch this weekend, just because, like I said, it may get pretty intense and stuff. But the people that can't get over the past, that can't get over their regrets, they may, that serotonin and stuff like that, it may be kind of low in those individuals and stuff. And it may make them a little bit depressive. It can cause anxiety and stuff like that too. And it's just like, there could be, like I said, last ditch efforts this weekend where people are trying to just clamber onto the old world so much because it's like they feel like it's now or never. And that's the kind of energy that this is bringing. It's like it almost feels like a now or never kind of energy. You know what I mean? It almost kind of feels that way. But there's always opportunities to be on that righteous path. There's always opportunities, right? Humans, we've experienced as humanity a Pluto conjunct the sun. Now, no one alive has experienced that, but we all have DNA from that. So we all have in many ways experienced it, and we have lived lives where we experienced that. So we have to like kind of go to that energy, if you will, and we'll see that, hey, we made it to it. I mean, that happened in 1778. It's 2024, so clearly we made it. Clearly it happened another 240 something years before that, so clearly we've made it. So we can make it through these moments. I think it just seems so dire. It seems so intense that we can get in our own heads and be like, oh my gosh, it's like, oh my gosh, like, can I really do this? Can I really handle this? And I think it's interesting too that the last time that the sun and Pluto conjuncted, which was last year at 28 degrees, Mercury was at 8 degrees of Capricorn, the degree that it retrograded at. So everything's coming back to that 8th degree. Everything's coming back to that 8th degree. So much is coming back to that degree. If you have any planets around 8 degrees of Capricorn, pay attention, right? Pay attention. Bottom of the deck, I have the Two of Swords. Yep. Inhibitions, worries, feeling like you are trapped. She has the little cat there with her and the moon in the background with the two birds flying and stuff. But yeah, she is definitely contemplating, but at least the swords aren't in front of her and she's not holding them. She's just more so in contemplation mode. So this may be a day where we are sort of contemplating. Maybe we do feel like, maybe I have been holding myself back. Maybe I haven't been trusting of my higher self. Maybe I haven't been seeing the value that I bring to the world. Just because things are shifting and transforming, I do have a place in the new world. And I think that's what it is. I think everyone is like vying for a place in this new world, vying for a spot at the table. Like this is a game of musical chairs and people are going to get left out. And I think the only way that you get left out is if you choose to be left out. But those who choose to be a part of it, those who choose to be a part of creating the new world and creating the beautiful reality that we can create and that does exist, we just got to vibrate and bring that into existence, vibrate at that same frequency and actually bring it here. But the fact that we can even conceptualize what that looks like, conceptualize the idea of it, means that it does exist. It is possible. The golden age is possible. We have lived through golden ages before, right? So the only way that you miss out on this party that we're about to have is if you just choose to not come. And because you may think that, oh, I never got an invite. Yes, you did. Just because you didn't get an invite from a particular person doesn't mean that your higher self didn't invite you. Doesn't mean that God didn't invite you. It's always been an open invitation. You just have to accept the invitation and step through that door. And then when you get there, people will be like, oh my gosh, yo, look who it is. And they'll be so super excited to see you and bring you in. And it'll be great music and great food and shit like that. And you'll be like, why was I ever worried? Why was I ever worried? So don't uninvite yourself to the party. Okay? Don't uninvite yourself to the party. Because you are far more capable than you realize. That is going to do it for your astrology forecast this Friday. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to my website, jphoenix.com. And as always, y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful Friday. I know we have a powerful weekend. It's going to be intense. I know it's going to be powerful, but you got this. I believe in you, beloved. Y'all take care, stay blessed, have a wonderful day. I will see you all on the weekend astrology forecast. Peace.